Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and yes, today we have a Kringle Candle haul. Yeah, I did buy them with my own money. If you didn't know, I haven't been an ambassador for Kringle Candle for the longest time, so I did buy these myself. There was the like their version of the semi-annual sale, like a after Christmas sale, and the sales were pretty strong. And you know, it's like the same with how we do with the Yankee Candle. It's like you still like check in to other candle brands outside of, like, for me, like Bath and Body Works, and just like see what they're doing, and if it's a like really enticing sale as a candle lover and home fragrance lover, like, yeah, let me just try them out again and see how they go. And so that's what I did here with Kringle. You know, because like I don't really want to spend $25 on a 3-wick from them, or like full price on their reserve candles or whatever. But if it's during a sale, then yeah, let me try it out and see how it goes. And I think I did had a 15% off code on top of it, so I kind of felt good about the prices, and so that's what we did. I ordered them on the 26th, and it took like 12 days for them to like arrive to my door. And then I actually have had time to burn most of the candles at least 1 to 2 times, and so this is actually kind of like a haul plus initial burn review video. So at least it gives you a little bit more context in terms of the performance, and I have to say I'm actually like quite like shockingly impressed. So if you've seen my old Kringle Candle videos where I used to get them through PR or whatever, I wasn't very impressed with them, and that's kind of like why I just didn't really promote them, or like why my code wasn't used enough to consider still being an ambassador. And it was because a lot of times I got the 2-wick tumblers and the 2-wick country jars, and I just found the soy wax to like really like hold down the fragrance, and it like was not as like in depth and like robust as like maybe a paraffin and soy blend was, and the throw would be kind of not how I wanted it to on the 2-wick jars, and so between the two of those issues, I just didn't really, you know, burn or gravitate towards Kringle Candle too much. They do have the 3 wicks, but honestly the labels are truly some of the most hideous labels on the market. I think they rival like Swan Creek with those disgusting word map labels that they do. They rival them in terms of, at least in my opinion, some of the more lesser attractive labels on the market, and ones that I don't really like. So while the 3 wicks exist and they might give a better strength and throw, it's hard for me as somebody who is a designer and marketer and all that kind of stuff, someone who likes collecting and really values the aesthetics and the branding and the marketing stuff. It's really hard for me to like get in and dig into the brand if I just can't get on board with the way the candles look to begin with. And so that was also a hit from the 3 wicks. But in any case, here we are now. I just kind of wanted to see how they did, because there's still quite a bit of like positive, you know, reviews and talk about Kringle Candle and how great and amazing their soy, 100% soy formula is. So I was like, let me just check in and see how it goes. And without further ado, let's get into it. I bought 3 of the 3 wicks, despite not loving the labels, but for $10, I was like, you know what, let me just try them, because I haven't had too much luck with the 2-wick, like the Libby Status Jar tumblers, and so I did the 3 wicks instead. So the first one we have, I kind of wanted to get a like sort of into spring summer type of fragrance, and that was the Sea Breeze candle. And yeah, so they have the painted jars. I can't say I love this aesthetic whatsoever. They do, however, now have the lids embossed with the K on it, which was something that I mentioned in like a video way back when, so happy to see that. Unfortunately, they are the cheaper like homework style tin lids rather than like the solid metal lids, so kind of points off on that, but it is what it is. They do have the notes on the bottom. Ozone, coconut, fruit, green, coconut, and amber. I do have to say their notes could definitely use some improvement. I'm just not sure, like, do they not have somebody on the marketing team or who like does copywriting who can like flesh out the notes a little bit better, where we're not left with like green and ozone? It's just like those little things that just add up, that just like take down the professionalism that just kind of get to me. And once again, like, I'm saying this in the context of like why I would not purchase, I'm less inclined to purchase brand A over brand B, is because of all these things. Okay. However, Sea Breeze, I've burned this one I think twice, and so it is the 100% soy wax, so it does like the grooves and the divots and like the uneven sort of wrinkly surface on top. That's totally normal and expected of soy wax. And this one smells great. I love it. This is very much that kind of like aquatic coconut like a coconut aquatic fragrance. I would say most comparable to like, it's very similar to my beloved Slacken & Co. Bath & Body Works Sea Spray candle. It's that kind of like fantasy aquatic, sort of beachy ozone fragrance that I love so much, but it goes in like that sort of like sweeter, juicier route that has a little bit of those fruity undertones with a little bit of floral instead of like that straight up like bergamot cologne citrus route that I don't love as much. And so think of Sea Spray, Sunrise Lagoon, Turquoise Waters, let's say Pool Party from Bath & Body Works, or Emerald Waters from Bath & Body Works. I love all of those. It's like my favorite type of aquatic ozone beachy fragrance, and this captures it perfectly. You get a coconut. I even get like a melon, which is probably what's giving that sort of like ozone marine quality to it. Yeah, it's like a coconut melon, and then there's like a floral amber that makes it a little bit more like robust and juicy at the end, and it's great. I had it burning in the bedroom, and it was plenty strong, beautiful. I was like surprised, and it's like these candles like surprisingly was like instant fragrance, like instant. Like I was like, oh my god, this is like old school like Slacken & Co. golden era where like you would burn it and it's like instant fragrance. It pulls out in no time. It doesn't soot. It was just great. It's like as great as like a 3-wick candle can get. And so it's kind of like if I am very, I guess, careful and selective in which fragrance choices that I choose to get from Kringle. And then, you know, because maybe these have been sitting for a while, because Sea Breeze, I'm assuming, would be like a summer release possibly. Maybe they had like 6 months to cure, if indeed there is validity to the like curing theory. Maybe these have had time to sit, that maybe they just have gotten like stronger over time with the soy wax or whatever, that like this is much improved from like the Kringle candles that I've had, whatever the last video was of Kringle that I did when I got them through PR. So I was like pleasantly surprised and happy about it. So Sea Breeze, like a total thumbs up, at least on like this much of the burn. Great. So that was the Sea Breeze one right there. Moving on, there was ice cream sandwiches, and I was like, ooh, I kind of want to just get like a fun, juicy, gourmand fragrance, and this seems kind of fun. Once again, just like the most hideous, like Chuck E. Cheese's Party City dated packaging ever, but here she is. Okay, I did indeed burn this one as well. This one was actually so immensely strong. I had to blow it out after like, was it like maybe like two or 3 hours? It was all consuming. So like, I mean, that's a good thing though. It's like, wow, like, I mean, who doesn't love a grand throw? At least I do. I mean, this truly filled this entire open concept area like immediately. It was just crazy. And like the more it burned, the stronger it got. I mean, just wow, impressed. So ice cream sandwiches. So here like is the opposite, where we get a crap load of more descriptive notes, but there's like 9 notes where it's the full blown like top, middle, bottom notes that they get, that it's like overboard. And so this one's rainbow sprinkles, sea salt, macadamia nuts, ice cream, ruby chocolate, cotton candy, vanilla milkshake, toasted coconut, and tonka bean. I think they could probably just like, you know, do concision on this and probably just call out the coconut, the vanilla, and the chocolate is kind of what I get here most. So yes, yeah, it's a little off from what I would imagine ice cream sandwiches to be, because the coconut and the chocolate is so strong, but ice cream sandwich does have like a chocolate like cookie sandwich with the vanilla ice cream in the middle, and the coconut I guess kind of gives it that like, I don't know, confectionery bakery feel. But I don't know, it doesn't quite say ice cream sandwiches, but I think like if you just like remove that and just think of it as like a coconut chocolate vanilla fragrance, then like it's good. And so this most reminds me of the, what is it? Toasted coconut s'mores, toasted coconut eclair, and toasted coconut cookie or something like that. There was a third like test iteration of that toasted coconut eclair and s'mores fragrance from Bath & Body Works. It's very similar to that. I don't think it's exactly the same, but a very similar type of almost like a bakery graham cracker crumbliness that's mixed with heaps of like a vanilla creamy action, chocolate for sure, and then that sort of toasted coconut smell. So very similar to like toasted coconut s'mores, toasted coconut eclair, but this I think is actually even stronger than the Bath & Body Works version, and burns cleaner and doesn't get that like, so toasted coconut eclair and s'mores are just like notorious for being like so black and murky and disgusting and just like tarnishing and just getting so gross by the mid-range point. This one I only burned once, but like it wasn't sooting and it wasn't like doing the murkiness yet. So I would hope maybe this has a cleaner burn, but I mean, it was a grand throw. I would put it like a 10, like easily. It was just all consuming. It was insane. So yeah, so thumbs up. I probably didn't like totally need this fragrance because I already have toasted coconut eclair and s'mores or whatever from the past. But like this is, I still enjoy the fragrance and it's a very, very strong interpretation of it. So yeah, yeah, it's still good. So that was the ice cream sandwiches right there. Okay, and lastly from the 3 wicks, we have the Bananas Foster, and so that's what that looks like right here. Once again, yikes with that wraparound. And this one's banana, brown sugar, soft spice, smoked vanilla bean, butter, soft woods, and sweet. What? Okay. And so I did burn this one. I think this was like less than an hour and it was so incredibly potent and strong. Wow. Yeah, I cannot complain about the throw of any of these, which is like, it's a really good thing. So this one doesn't quite give me what I imagine a Bananas Foster's to be. I guess I imagine a little bit like a smokiness from the like flambéed banana or whatever, mixed with like maybe some vanilla ice cream. But there's like heaps of a spice note in this that makes it lean more into like a fall banana like bakery fragrance in the way of like a banana bread or a banana muffin way. There's heaps of a brown sugar and spice note that is like intertwining with the smokiness. And so like the smokiness and the banana and the creaminess is there, but there's just like that addition of the spice just turns it a little bit away from being Bananas Foster. But if you like ignore that and just think of it as just a banana bakery fragrance, yeah, it's great. It's super strong and it's intense. The banana doesn't smell too artificial. And when you do smell it, there is quite a bit of like a slightly smoked quality to it that I enjoy the extra depth that gives it. And yeah, it's just a really strong, intense, like banana bakery fragrance is what I get from this. And I really can't complain about it. If I'm just like really in the mood for a banana bakery fragrance, then here it is. And like, it was less than an hour and it was just like all consuming of this whole area. So I really can't complain about it. So Bananas Foster right there. Okay, and then moving on, we have 2 of the new Grand 4-wick Reserve jars. So I've never tried a Reserve jar. Yeah, I was never sent any during my brief ambassadorship, so I never tried any Reserve candles, but they're supposed to be higher quality oils or something like that. That's why they're more expensive, whatever that means. And they come in the black painted jar. And then of course the 4 wicks are like very new recent additions, so I certainly haven't tried those. So I was like, well, let me take this shot to try both a Reserve and a 4-wick candle and see how it does. And I think these were $40 from the original $50 price point. And yes, so they come in these like white boxes that have like the line drawing on them and everything. Yeah. And okay. Everything was well packed, like no issues whatsoever. And let's see, how many ounces was this? Does it say? So 32 ounces, burns up to 70 hours. These are indeed made in the USA, so we appreciate that. And so we have the coveted jelly donut fragrance. I mean, if there is one candle from Kringle Candle that gets the most hype in the world, it is most certainly jelly donut. And I was like, you know what? This is my time to just try it, like go big or go home. We're gonna get jelly donut in a 4-wick Reserve jar and just call it a day. And so that's what we have right here. So yes, this is the new 4-wick one. Yeah, I mean, the black jar is kind of an acquired taste, like it's very like specific, but yeah, and so this is like kind of like the standard taller status Libby jars that are made more squat and wide to like accommodate a 4-wick format. We get like the massive jar with the Kringle, the massive lid with the Kringle logo on it. It is indeed 4 wicks of the soy wax here, and that's what that looks like. Pastry, fruit, raspberry, blackberry, citrus, butter, and vanilla. And so when I first smelled this on cold, I was like, well, I mean, it's nice. It smells like a jelly donut. It's very heavy on the raspberry jam component, and then some powdered sugar, and then lastly, some brown sugar that's like lingering after it. And it was definitely more heavy on the jam than the bakery. But when you go to burn it, the brown sugar notes kind of do liven up along with the powdered sugar to give it more that sort of bakery donut feel. And so I appreciated that. And it's not too far off from like your wild berry jam donut from Bath and Body Works, the Sufgania Happy Hanukkah, raspberry thumbprint, and what is it, mixed berry crumble. So like we've been around the block with the jelly donut fragrances from other brands. And so I was like, I just need to try this one. But boy, this one really like, oh my God, it like really livens up and explodes when it is burning. Well, I shouldn't say explode, explodes with fragrance. Oh my God, this was so immensely strong. Oh my God, I had a burning one night. I think, was it last night or something? And it was crazy. I mean, so once again, 4-wicks, instant fragrance. And it's like so like nice to get a 4-wick candle that actually pulls out and burns properly. Friggin' ass Homeworks in their made in Vietnam 4-wicks with the skinny tiny little wicks. Those always, it's just, I have such an issue with them. They take so long to pull out and then they soot before I can get it to pull out. And it's just a hot mess. And it's just not the candle for me. But to get a 4-wick that actually does pull out with a large diameter like this, it was like so freaking satisfying. Makes a deep even wax pull in like a reasonable time that you would expect, and it was just like instant fragrance. And then the thicker the wax pull got, I mean, the more fragrance just kept pumping out. Once again, this is just a first burn, but I mean, this first burn is more impressive than the first burns from the Kringle candles of past, where it would like, I would have it going for like 3 or 4 hours and just like it would never pick up. This, on the other hand, was just like blow me out of the house, just so incredibly strong. A very delicious, scrumptious jelly donut fragrance. Still a lot of that raspberry sort of jam berry note comes through, but then coming right after it is both the powdered sugar and sort of the brown sugar to give it that donut vibe, and it was just truly one of the most intense jelly donut fragrances I've ever experienced. It was just truly all-encompassing, so I really have nothing bad to say about it. I was quite impressed by it. Very delicious. Of course, it was only the first burn, so it hasn't done the notorious thing that most jelly donut candles do, which is get like that smoked, like that tarnished, smoked singed fragrance that you get in the mid-range point. So I'll have to continue burning this and see how it does, but the first burn was very impressive. So yeah, wow. So yeah, I can see why this is so hyped on the internet. So that was jelly donut right there. And lastly, we have probably the least strongest of the bunch, but it's still strong enough and stronger than a lot of these friggin' weak ass spring BBW candles I've been encountering lately. And that is the vanilla rose cone. So it's like, hello, you knew I would buy something like this. And I was like, I can't believe a fragrance that seems this like niche would show up in a 4-wick XL format. But I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Just put it in the bag, put it in the bag. So vanilla rose cone says vanilla, waffle cone, sheer rose, citrus accord, apple blossom, and sandalwood. I have burned this one twice already. The unfortunate thing about this is I think the fragrance oil of this is just not strong or robust enough. It's a little bit more delicate, that what you get is heaps of that like soy, waxy, soy smell, and that was definitely something that I've had issues with Kringle before, where it was like that underlying soy waxy smell would like overtake the fragrance, and on some of these fragrance oils that are, I guess, just not as like strong or robust to mask the smell of that original soy odor, that happens. And this is unfortunately but the only one of these that have done that. But I mean, granted, it's still a 4-wick $40 candle, so I would prefer not to have to like combat that like soy wax smell. But this one unfortunately does have heaps of the soy wax smell in it, and sometimes like it only happens on cold, and if the fragrance is strong enough to combat it when it's burning, it can like be okay. But this one, I was still getting plenty of that soy wax odor underneath when it was burning. So this is probably the least impressive of the 5, but I could still smell it, and it's still a pleasant fragrance. It's just, once again, a little bit too much of that soy wax odor comes through on this one. But outside of that, what I get, it's also familiar, and I think, God, it's got to be something I've smelled before, but the closest thing that I can think of that it smells to is the Voluspa milk rose fragrance, which is like this milky, creamy, marshmallowy fragrance mixed with like a delicate, beautiful, like almost like a powdery rosewater fragrance. This is very much what you get from this. I don't really get any kind of like baked waffle cone or baked accord in this whatsoever. It's more like the milky, creamy, I guess you could say like a vanilla ice cream mixed with a rose fragrance is how this comes off as. But I get like a marshmallow, creamy vanilla texture with a like powdery, soft rosewater quality is what I get from this. That is similar to the milk rose from Voluspa. Also I think there was like a Galentine's candle from Homeworks that was also like a rose plus marshmallow fragrance, incredibly similar to that. It's like this powder puff, powdery, rosewater perfumey fragrance that's then made a little bit more milky, creamy, and silky, and that's very much what I get here. So I would say Galentine's or Milk Rose would be the two most comparable fragrances for this. Oh, hello, I guess Blush Poinsettia, whatever you say. Blush Poinsettia from Bath & Body Works. I don't know if it's, yeah, that must be what is so similar to this. I don't know if it's exactly the same. This just has so much of that soy wax odor that it's like kind of hard to get an accurate read on it. But oh, I guess, yeah, Blush Poinsettia is similar, but that's a lot more juicy and more robust and doesn't have the soy wax competing with it. That I think that's still the superior fragrance, but once again, very similar to that Hello Marshmallow plus Rosewater note. Yeah, so okay, Blush Poinsettia, Milk Rose, and Galentine's. Those would be the most comparable ones to this, for sure. Yeah, I think Blush Poinsettia is still superior. But so I guess if you have Blush Poinsettia, do you need this? I don't think so, especially because it gives a soy wax odor, but maybe you might get a cleaner burn from this or whatever. So yeah, this was still plenty noticeable in the primary bedroom, but nowhere near as like strong and intense as the other four, but still medium to medium plus. So really no qualms outside of the soy wax. Okay, and so that was Vanilla Rose Cone right there. Okay, so yeah, overall, wow. Kind of impressed. Yeah, like I didn't have the best of luck with Kringle in days past, but these 5 have been like all outside of the Vanilla Rose Cone, like pretty excellent and just like, so strong and intense. I'm not getting like that muddied, like held down fragrance quality that I got some from the previous ones. Maybe because these have been sitting for a while. I don't know, maybe the curing thing, there's validity to that. I don't know. But in any case, like I wasn't experiencing most of the issues that I got from previous. So wow, like I would be open to trying more Kringle candles anytime there's a very blockbuster sale like that, where it's like, okay, can I get a 3-wick for $10? Okay, and then like, as long as the reserve candles are on some type of clearance, I just certainly don't want to pay full price, then yeah, like sure, maybe I would try them again. So yeah, kind of impressed and happy that like all the purchases that I got were like pretty satisfactory. So awesome. Let me know your thoughts on Kringle Candle down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.